I'm so happy! After all of these years, finally I'm meeting you!
Yep, all right, good.
Oh, look at that. You must be the beautiful wife.
Beautiful? Oh, stop it. Oh, sweet talker.
How is my brother finding a wife like you when he is so bald? I'm joking.
And that is a clip from Despicable Me 3. It stars Steve Carell and Kristen Wiig. And I'm laughing only because I'm slightly confused because when Steve and Kristen just came into the room, Steve calls Kristen Christian Bale. And I'm worried that I'm going to make a mess up. But anyway, Kristen and Steve, hello.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Is that like a thing that you do, Steve? Just to...
Well, inadvertently, it's a
Yes.
thing that I do. It's not a planned joke. It's just I worked with Christian Bale a year or two ago, and I guess I have Christian Bale on the mind.
We all do.
And Kristen Wiig looks a lot like Christian Bale.
I've been
so
told that.
It's hard to...
You've done 6 movies with one of them.
I have, yeah. That would be the Kristen.
That's right. Anyway, you're very welcome to the show out there. And Despicable Me is this extraordinary title. Just outline the story, because it's great fun anyway. Just tell us where this third outing takes us, Steve and Kristen.
We began this episode with the two of them, with Lucy and Gru, having been fired from the Anti-Villain League. They've really messed up, and they've been fired. And they're a little bit adrift at this point. Yeah. They have to figure out what to do next, and they have 3 kids, and Lucy's trying to be a great stepmom at this point. And then Gru gets some news that he has a twin brother that he had never known about. So that's a big piece of information that he has to figure out. And they travel to his brother's country, and they meet him for the first time. And there's a new villain on the horizon.
Great new villain.
Yeah,
Balthazar Brat.
Balthazar Brat,
yeah.
voiced by Trey Parker.
Yes, so funny. Yeah, he's an ex-child actor. I guess Hollywood did him wrong, and so he wants to seek revenge. And so he's kind of stuck in the 80s, and he's hilarious.
So he's all kind of shoulder pads. And,
yeah, horrible.
And Walkman.
Yes.
Okay, so and Lucy she's not exactly, she doesn't take to motherhood instantly, does she? I mean, she's adapting and she cherishes the small victories.
Yes, she does, but she's really hoping for the big ones. She's just trying. I mean, she's trying to be a mom to these children sort of instantly, and it takes time. So she's trying extra Lucy hard.
Lucy Hud, that's right.
Yeah.
So there's Gru, and then so your brother, your twin, is Drew, and he's very different to you, but it is obviously it's still you. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but anyway, that's this is.
Oh no!
Now you've ruined
the whole movie.
This is also. I was reading a review of the film in a New Zealand paper, the way you do over the weekend. I think you've done some promotion for New Zealand, and they were talking about the film's European weirdness, and I had kind of forgotten that this was even discussed as a thing. But anyway, so we've got used to Gru's European weirdness. What is that? And the voice is originally from
exactly
his brain.
So Drew, in contrast, so just explain the two voices that you've gone for.
Gru is a bit of a grump, grouchy, cynical person, and Drew is just the flip side of that. He is lighthearted and he's silly, and Gru can't stand him because he is everything that Gru is not. And Drew has hair, which is a real point of contention between them.
So they're recognizably the same, but the voice, therefore, you would just go, okay, well, I'm going to go lighter if he's not a grump, and if he's not miserable, and if he isn't cynical, we're going to have a bright and cheery.
He's so much happier about everything.
That.
Sort of like that.
Yes.
That was me, by the way. I just want your audience to know.
That's right.
I apologize.
That was me doing my impression.
That was excellent.
Thank you.
You can get away with so much. We had... Tom Hanks was on the show a while back talking about doing Woody in Toy Story over a whole bunch of years, like 20 years, and how voices change over the years. And he said it's enormously to his advantage for that he doesn't smoke and he drinks a little bit, but not very much. So his voice hasn't changed very much. So you've been associated with these pictures for a while, particularly, Steve. When you hear the original work, is your voice different at all? Have you changed?
I smoke and drink all the time. I'm actually smoking and drinking right now.
It's
That's
so
right.
early.
Along with Christian Bale here, who's got some Jack Daniels and 20 Silk Cut.
I don't think the voice has changed, but you know what? The character has matured, and I'm taking him on a journey. In this third episode,
No, he hasn't.
he's changed internally, but no, I don't think the voice has really changed. The voice is such a simple, stupid, silly thing. It's not. When people ask about how I developed the voice, I just did a voice that made my kids laugh, and that's the one I used. And there was no country attached to it. It was, and that's what makes it so easy too, because I set the bar very low for myself with this voice.
It's the secret to happiness.
What's that?
The secret to happiness.
It is. Set the bar low at all times.
Lower expectations, job satisfaction guaranteed.
Yeah.
That's been my motto.
So if it makes your kids laugh, then that's fine.
Yes.
And have they seen this?
They have not seen the third one yet.
Why not?
Well, I don't see my kids too often. No. Well, it hadn't been completed, and we wanted to see, as a family, we wanted to see the final product, because you can see earlier versions that have the incomplete animation and little bits where the characters don't really move properly.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Those
nice.
are kind of funny.
And it's always better to see the finished product.
Also, when we see it at the premiere, the theater's usually filled with kids, and that's just the best audience to watch this movie with, because watching kids crack up and hearing them laugh it's so worth it.
And I know that everything is recorded separately because that's the way it always happens. Yeah. But I did wonder with you two, because you spark off each other so well, and because you've done 6 movies together, and because you clearly get on, whether they ever think that maybe there's some potential. Let's just put them in a room.
I wish they would think that.
And put them in the same place and let them work this script.
I would love that.
I think they hear us doing press and they're scared that we'll just start talking in crazy voices or something.
We'd never get any work done.
Is it the drinking and the smoking that
Yeah.
you think would get in the way?
And
of
Christian
that?
Bale's just so distracting in the booth when he's with us.
You know, the problem I think would be laughing.
Yeah.
Because when we did Anchorman together, the scenes that we had together were excruciating because I couldn't stop laughing.
We couldn't stop.
And at a certain point, the director gets fed up with you because you're not actually doing any of the dialogue, because you're just being too silly with each other. So
Yeah.
maybe that's what they're worried about.
That rapport is something which clearly people love. Outside of Despicable Me and other movies, are there plans to collaborate again? I'm assuming
never. That's never going to happen.
I was just about to say, I hope so.
Well, let's take your version
Yeah, we'll
first,
take my
then,
version.
Kristen.
I mean, I hope so. Yeah, we're so lucky. I think Steve and I we both feel really lucky in our careers, and we get to work with a lot of amazing people. But, it is rare when you like really, really click. And yeah, when you find those people, you want to work with them all the time. That's how I feel about Steve.
Well, I just want to mention one thing before we move on to the things. The music in this movie is, of course, terrific. And because of the 80s super brat hero, bad guy, Balthazar Brat, there's lots of wonderful music. So we've just got used to a-ha, and we've just got used to Michael Jackson and Madonna, and there's the Pharrell stuff, which is the new stuff. And then the Minions, who should get a mention, start singing Gilbert and Sullivan. Now, I was brought up on Gilbert and Sullivan. My dad was a huge Gilbert and Sullivan fan, but I have to say, it took me quite a while to think, is this really Gilbert and Sullivan being sung by the Minions in a Despicable Me movie? So what was your reaction to that?
Well, it's a fever dream. It's a bit of a scary moment when you see all of those things coming together. The fact that the Minions, and this I guess is a bit of a spoiler, I don't know if we're allowed to say it, but the fact that they go to prison is a little bit odd, and to see them in a different environment is always fun. The Minions, apart from everything else, are such a stroke of marketing genius, because Every kid wants a Minion something, backpack, their
Fart gun.
Yeah.
fart gun.
We have a fart gun on the show, which is always very useful.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's the only thing that I wanted from the last. I was like, oh, I'll take the fart gun.
In fact, there are two fart gun jokes before the film even starts.
You can't start the fart jokes too early. That's
What is it about a fart joke that is just inherently funny?
I don't know. You know, we talked a lot about that on the movie Foxcatcher. And
I don't recall that actually when
Well,
you came in, and we did talk about this last time you were on the show was Foxcatcher.
before the credits roll
Is
on
that right?
Foxcatcher,
It was a very similar
There's a-
opening credit sequence.
a very
Foxcatcher.
similar sequence.
Steve, is it true you're back working? You mentioned Anchorman and back working with Adam McKay, and you're being Donald Rumsfeld.
I am, yeah.
Have you been Donald Rumsfeld? Are we about to see that, or is it about to start filming? Where are you with
It
that?
will start filming this fall, and so yeah, we're still a few months away from that.
And is it going to be a very pro Donald Rumsfeld movie?
As you would expect from
Yes.
Adam McKay.
That's right. And I was just so. What can you tell us about that?
It's super secret. No, I don't really know much about it aside from having read the script, and I think Adam wrote the script, and so it's a bit in the vein of A Big Short, that same kind of vibe to it.
But I think you've wrapped on Battle of the Sexes. Is that right?
That's correct.
So Emma Stone was on the show recently, of course, and talking about all her extraordinary success of the last few weeks. And Billie Jean King was on the show quite a while back, actually. But both of them extraordinary women. And this is one heck of a moment, the Battle of the Sexes tennis match. Can you just whet our appetite just a bit now that you've actually wrapped on it?
Well, for those who aren't familiar with it, in the early 70s, Bobby Riggs, an ex-champion, at this point he was 55 years old, challenged Billie Jean King to a match, and to prove that men were superior to women in all things. Of course, Riggs was playing it up, and he wasn't really sexist in any way. He
Really?
was he wasn't. He was a showman. He was taking a page from Muhammad Ali. He was creating a persona that would stir people up. And he was, he knew how to market himself. So they played this game, and Billie Jean King, she had a lot, apart from just the game itself, apart from the match, she had a lot going on in her life on a personal level. So she was dealing with a lot of things simultaneously, and it's an interesting story to see the flip sides of both of their lives.
How's your tennis?
Exceptional.
Really?
I mean, to look at me, you wouldn't think that, but boy, oh boy, there were no professional doubles used at all. And whenever you see one of those perfect shots, it's most likely me.
Kristen, is it the Tony Erdmann movie that we're going to see you in next?
Yes.
Or is that what you're filming next?
Filming, I'm not sure of the filming when it starts. It's being written as we speak.
So you love the film, and
Yes.
so it's seeing that thinking I want to do a remake, and is it Jack Nicholson and you?
We're hoping, yes. I mean, as of now, that's what it is. I had a friend who saw the film and was like, "You have to watch this movie," and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like this." And yeah, we met with the director, and hopefully it's going to happen soon.
So what do we actually see you in next?
I have a small part in Darren Aronofsky's next movie.
Oh, the Mother.
Mother,
Yeah.
yes. And then Alexander Payne's movie, Downsizing, which comes out around Christmas, I believe.
Okay.
December.
And it's certainly at the end of Despicable Me 3, I think everyone is expecting Despicable Me 4 at some stage.
We hope.
Our fingers are crossed.
Steve and Kristen,
Yes.
thank you very much indeed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.